Good afternoon, and welcome to our webcast designed to provide you an update on MidAmerican Energy's wind operations. I'm Adam Wright, Vice President, Wind Generation Development, and I'm pleased to be with you today as we mark the 45th annual Earth Day celebration. Earth Day started in 1970 as a way of raising awareness of the environmental concerns facing our planet. That first Earth Day brought together Americans from all walks of life, old and young, rich and poor, from inner cities and the countryside, Democrats and Republicans alike, all to rally around in support of things like clean air, clean water, and the protection of endangered wildlife. Today, Earth Day is the largest civic event in the world. More than 1 billion people around the globe are participating in campaigns to create a cleaner, healthier, more sustainable environment. Our wind program at MidAmerican aligns with the goals of Earth Day and the core principle of environmental respect shared by all Berkshire Hathaway energy companies. We're committed here to using natural resources wisely and protecting our environment for future generations. So it's very appropriate that we're here on Earth Day 2015 to share the news that this year will be a record-setting year for wind construction at MidAmerican. We will add more wind turbines and more megawatts of wind capability than in any year since we started building wind projects in 2004. This progress would not have been possible without the tremendous support of our customers, supplier partners, and community leaders throughout the state of Iowa. You all have played an important role in our success, and that's why we wanted to personally invite you today to learn more about what we're doing together to build Iowa's energy future. So, over the next half hour, we will talk about our plans for 2015 and why MidAmerican decided to pursue wind development, and then we'll watch a video that gives an insider view of the construction of a wind turbine. At the end of our session, we'll have a chance for Q&A, so please feel free at any time during the webcast to drop a question in the prompt box below. So what have we been up to at MidAmerican? Well, in 2015, we will complete our 1,050 megawatt Wind 8 project. When we announced this project in 2013, it was the largest economic development project in the history of Iowa. Since making that announcement, we've been hard at work. And to date, 4 of the 5 wind farms that make up Wind 8 are complete. The Vienna 2 wind farm in Marshall County was completed in December 2013. 3 more wind farms, Lundgren and Webster County, Macksburg and Madison County, and Wellsburg and Grundy County were completed at the end of 2014. These 4 projects alone are capable of serving the equivalent of more than 150,000 Iowa homes. The 5th and final piece of Wind 8, which is our Highland Wind Farm in O'Brien County, will be fully operational by the end of this year. This will be the largest wind farm in Iowa and one of the 10 largest wind farms in the country. The original Highland project, plus an expansion announced as part of our Wind 9 project, will give us an additional 214 turbines and 502 megawatts of wind capacity. Also this year, we will complete our newest wind farm in Adams County, where we're adding 64 turbines and approximately 154 megawatts of wind capacity. With the addition of Adams project, we will have invested more than $6 billion building wind projects in 22 Iowa counties, providing local employment, tax revenues, and economic development opportunities. All told, MidAmerican will have developed about 9% of the wind capacity installed in the U.S. over the last 3 years, and by the end of this year, our fleet will represent slightly more than 4% of the nation's total wind resource capacity, capable of serving the equivalent of more than 1 million average Iowa homes. The reason we've decided to focus so heavily on wind capability is that we see wind as a key element of MidAmerican's balanced approach to energy generation, and we see it as a driving force in the economic development of the state of Iowa. Our investment in wind capability over the last decade has made us the nation's leading rate-regulated utility in terms of wind ownership and has helped Iowa derive more than 28% of its electricity from wind, the highest percentage of any state. If we look back a little more than a decade ago, we had no wind in our system, and coal represented 70% of our generation fleet. When we're done with these latest expansions, 40% of our total generation capacity will be derived from wind versus just 30% for coal. I would say this is a bold shift in the right direction. We believe our efforts have not been in vain, and it's clear after a decade of development that wind generation benefits customers, enhances Iowa's economy, and helps protect the environment. First, let's talk about the benefits to customers. Unlike many other forms of energy, wind generation has no fuel costs associated with it. Those fuel cost savings, coupled with federal production tax credits, have allowed us to develop our wind fleet at no net cost to customers. That's what I call a sustainable solution. Wind resources will continue to help us maintain our outstanding record of keeping electric rates stable and affordable for customers. Our total retail electric rates are 4th lowest in the nation, and at an average of 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour, are about 40% lower than the national average for rate-regulated utilities. This makes Iowa a great place to do business. In addition, economic benefits of wind resources are being felt in communities all throughout the state. Through 2045, landowners and counties that host our wind turbines are expected to receive an estimated $1.5 billion in lease and property tax payments, providing a windfall that allows counties to build schools and improve roads, and for landowners to put kids through college or help maintain the farm. Also, our pursuit of wind projects has created more than 1,000 temporary jobs and nearly 200 permanent jobs in Iowa, along with increased business revenue during construction activities. A recent report by the American Wind Energy Association notes that the wind farm industry in Iowa employed more than 6,000 people in 2014, an increase of 2,000 over the previous year. Iowa now ranks second only to Texas in the number of people employed in the wind industry. Equally important, wind resources are expected to continue to provide an incentive for energy-intensive businesses to locate to the state or expand their operations here, which further supports Iowa's stated goals of creating quality jobs and expanding economic development. We at MidAmerican are proud to be a catalyst for helping Iowa achieve these results. In short, we view wind as a vital component of our energy future and a competitive advantage for our company, our customers, and the entire state of Iowa. So, to help us kick off this record-setting year for wind construction and to celebrate the work that's been completed and the support that we've received, we've put together a short video that provides an insider's view of what it takes to bring wind resources to our great state. This video uses time-lapse photography and some never-before-seen aerial footage to condense thousands of hours of labor into a little less than 6 minutes. The particular turbine being built is at our Maxburg Wind Farm in Madison County. So take a look, and we'll be back after a few minutes to answer some of your questions. Welcome back. Clearly the video is the star of the show, so hopefully it provided you a unique view of the construction process. And along with the discussion that we've had, it prompted you to submit a few of the questions that may be on your mind. We do have a few that have been submitted so far, so we'll just take an opportunity to review these and answer them to the best I can. The first question is, what factors do you look at in deciding where to locate wind farms? Well, there's several factors that go into it, but there are really three main things that we look at. First, we look for a good wind resource. We have to have strong winds to be able to produce the wind energy for our customers. The second thing we look for is access to the transmission system. It does us no good to generate electricity that we can't deliver to the end user. And the last thing we look for is good landowner support. And not perfect landowner support, but good support. We generally like to be in an environment where there's overwhelming support from the community to host and have our wind projects there. Because at the end of the day, our MidAmerican employees and our contractors will live in the communities in which we serve. Another question we have, what happens to the electricity from your wind farms? Where is it used? Well, electricity flows to the kind of through the least path of resistance. So from a scientific, technical standpoint, the electrons are going to flow to the first place that needs it. From an allocation standpoint at MidAmerican, the wind energy is basically allocated to our customers. We allocate the lowest cost form of energy to our customers first, our retail customers. So they'll get that energy basically credited to them. But from a physical standpoint, the electrons are going to flow to the first place that is needed. Okay, sometimes I drive past a wind farm and some of the turbines aren't turning. Why is that? There's a funny story behind that. Actually, when I was first working at MidAmerican, I was driving from Omaha to Des Moines, and my wife was behind me basically, and she always would ask a question every time we're together: why aren't the wind turbines, turning? And so one time on my way back into town, the whole park wasn't spinning, and my wife was going to ask me, and so I pick up the phone and I call Bill Nosbish, our supervisor at the Adair Park, and I ask him, Bill, why aren't these turbines turning? What's going on? Why aren't you doing something about it? And he basically said, boss, the wind's not blowing. And so we have to have the wind blowing in order for the turbines to turn. So sometimes if you see a big block of turbines not spinning, it's because there's no wind. If you do see some spinning and some aren't actually turning at the same rate or aren't turning at all, it could be because the turbine is down for maintenance. We have to basically cycle through 4 or 5 turbines for every 100 turbines at a park. Have to cycle those through and take those offline for 3 or 4 days to do just general maintenance activities. And then sometimes the turbines are very sensitive, and there could be a fault trigger that happens that causes the turbine to shut down and then signals us for maintenance. So generally you should see, in a 100 turbine park, you should see about 97 to 98 of those turbines turning at all times, unless of course there's no wind, and none of them will be turning at that point. Next question. Can I let you know if I would be interested in having a wind turbine on my property? That's a great question. We get calls all the time from landowners in that regard. And I would say just call the wind hotline. On our website, there's an 800 number that you can call, and someone will pick up the phone, or you can also send in an email. And we will take your name down, and we'll look at your property in consideration as we're evaluating future projects. And if it looks like there's an opportunity to build a wind park in your area, we'll give you a call and start those discussions. And I have one final question. It says, do you have plans for future wind development beyond 2015? Again, that's another question we sort of get is, when are you going to build the next wind project? We get that question a lot from economic development authorities around the state. And I would just say that we are constantly in talks with developers and turbine suppliers and balance of plant contractors, looking for opportunities to bring more wind resources to our customers. And as we're evaluating those projects, as opportunities come up, we'll start to talk to counties and begin to investigate a little bit further to see what some of the permitting requirements might be. And if we can get through all those hurdles and we can identify something that looks like it's going to be in the best interest of our customer base, we'll jump all over it and work really hard to bring those projects to fruition. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this Earth Day 2015. At MidAmerican, we are committed to being the best at serving our customers while delivering sustainable energy solutions. Thank you again.